What if the real rebellion in Gilead doesn't start with weapons but with feelings? With jealousy, with curiosity, with a quiet refusal to accept the life that's been chosen for you. That's exactly what the Testament's episode 7, Commitment, is really about. And yes, on the surface, this is another Daisy-focused episode. We get her narration, her flashbacks, her backstory filling in more of the puzzle. But if you're really paying attention, this episode belongs to Agnes. Because something is changing in her. And it's not subtle anymore. By the end of this episode, Agnes makes a move that proves one thing. She's no longer just surviving Gilead. She's starting to push back against it. Let's start with the tone. There's a shift in the air. You can feel it almost immediately. It's tense. It's restless. And strangely, it feels rebellious. Now that might not sound like a big deal, but in Gilead, that's everything. Because this is a society designed to suppress individuality, especially in young women. It thrives on obedience, silence, and control. So when you have a group of teenage girls beginning to feel things they're not supposed to feel, that's dangerous. Because here's the truth. Teenagers aren't known for accepting things quietly, especially when it comes to love, identity, and choice. And Gilead? Gilead doesn't believe girls should have choices at all. Now this tension plays out most clearly through Agnes. Because for the first time, she's being forced to confront a reality she didn't expect. When she convinced Aunt Lydia to include Garth in the group of potential matches, she believed, deep down, that she was shaping her own destiny. That she would be paired with him. That she would finally get something she wanted. But that belief? It was naive. Instead, Agnes is hit with a harsh truth. Garth isn't being matched with her. He's being matched with Becca. And just like that, everything changes. Agnes tries to hide it. She puts on a brave face. She pretends it doesn't matter. But it does. Because this isn't just about love. It's about realizing that no matter what she wants, it will never truly matter. Her life isn't hers.
Not now.
Not ever. At least not under Gilead's rules. And that realization? It plants a seed. A dangerous one. Now while Agnes is dealing with this emotional fallout, the episode continues to build Daisy's backstory. And this is where things start to connect in a really powerful way. We go back to Canada. To a diner. Right after Daisy's meeting with June Osborne. She's sitting there, waiting. And waiting. And waiting. For someone from Mayday to contact her. But no one comes. At least not in the way she expects. Eventually, we find out that the person she's been waiting for
was there the entire time.
The diner owner. Watching her. Testing her. After proving her commitment, Daisy is given a choice. Or, at least, something that looks like one. Mayday wants to move her out of Canada. Somewhere safer. Colombia. Far from Gilead. Far from danger. But Daisy refuses. Because she's still grieving. Still angry. Still carrying the weight of what happened to her adoptive parents. And for her, hiding isn't enough. She wants revenge. That's when June's plan comes into play. An undercover operation. A long-term infiltration into Gilead itself. But this mission requires someone very specific. Someone young enough to blend in. Someone strong enough to survive. Someone willing to risk everything. And Daisy, she fits perfectly. She's given a fake identity, a backstory, a purpose, even a tattoo, to sell the illusion of who she's supposed to be. We later see her removing that tattoo alongside another Pearl girl, which just reinforces how deep this operation goes. Because nothing about Daisy's life is real anymore. It's all constructed, controlled, strategic. And here's the most intense part. She's thrown into Gilead without fully understanding who she can trust.
Not even Garth.
Who, as we later realize, is actually her handler. So think about that for a second. You're in enemy territory, risking your life every day, and the one person meant to guide you? You don't even know they're on your side. Now back in the present timeline, things take a darker turn. The Eyes are investigating the school bus attack. Commander Weston is leading the charge. And new evidence suggests that one of the Pearl girls might be involved. Which means everyone is under suspicion. The interrogations begin.
Cold.
Controlled. Intimidating. Daisy is questioned alongside the others. And you can feel the tension. Because one wrong word, one slip, and it's over. She manages to hold it together. But not everyone does. Another girl is taken, dragged away, screaming. And for a brief moment, even Aunt Vidala looks shaken. That moment is important, because it reminds us and the characters that no one is untouchable, not even those who seem protected. The stress starts to weigh heavily on Daisy, and Agnes notices, which leads to one of the most important scenes in the episode. Agnes invites Daisy to her home. At first, it seems like a simple act of kindness, but it quickly becomes something deeper, more personal, because what Agnes reveals here shows just how much she's starting to question the world she's been raised in. She shows Daisy her secret collection, small objects she's found on the beach, around the grounds, things from the outside world, pens,
Dice.
little trinkets. To Agnes, these aren't just objects. They're mysteries, symbols of something forbidden, something exciting, something real. She asks Daisy to explain them, to give them meaning, but Daisy hesitates, because the truth would shatter the illusion. It would turn those magical objects into something ordinary and painful. So she says nothing, and Agnes takes that silence as mistrust, which creates tension between them. But more importantly, it reveals something bigger. Agnes is changing. She's curious. She's questioning. She's starting to feel the pull of a world beyond Gilead. And Daisy, she might be the key to that world. Now, let's talk about the biggest moment of the episode, the matching process. This is what everything has been building toward. Agnes is presented with 3 potential suitors, all powerful commanders, all representing status, security, and control. And among them, Commander Weston. But one name is missing.
Garth.
Because he's already been matched with Becca. And that realization hits Agnes harder than anything else. Becca apologizes. She didn't choose this. None of them do. But that doesn't make it hurt any less. And this is where Agnes does something unexpected. Something bold. Something dangerous. This is the moment Agnes stops playing by the rules and starts rewriting them. During her meeting with Commander Weston, Agnes sabotages the interaction. Deliberately. She brings up his past. His previous wife, who died during childbirth. It's inappropriate. It's risky. And it's completely intentional. Paula's reaction is immediate. Anger. Barely contained. Because this isn't just a social mistake. It's defiance. And in Gilead, defiance is dangerous. Later, Agnes storms off. Emotional. Overwhelmed. And she finds Garth outside. He's smoking.
Calm.
Unbothered. She confronts him. About Becca. About the match. And he confirms it. Their meeting went well. That moment? It hurts. But it also changes something in Agnes. She takes his cigarette stub. Adds it to her collection. And that small action speaks volumes. Because now, those objects aren't just curiosities. They're personal. They're emotional. They're real. And here's the key takeaway. You can feel June's influence in Agnes now. That same spark. That same resistance. That same refusal to fully accept the system. Because maybe rebellion isn't something you learn. Maybe it's something you inherit. As the Testaments continues, the focus on this new generation becomes even more important. Agnes and Daisy. 2 girls. 2 very different paths. But both moving toward the same realization. That Gilead isn't unbreakable. And Episode 7 makes one thing clear. The future of this world won't be decided by those in power. It will be shaped by those brave enough to question it. If you enjoyed this breakdown, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications. Because things are only getting more intense from here. And trust me, you don't want to miss what happens next.